Hi everyone, my name is Margarita and I'd like to talk to you guys about weeks 23 all the way to 26 of my pregnancy. And I usually do these in 2 weeks instead of the 4 weeks, but I haven't had much time to myself, so doing it for 4 weeks at a time at this point. So yeah. So I told you guys last time that I was gonna have my appointment coming up, and yeah, so we went to see the technician for my second anatomy ultrasound, and that was just because the first one they couldn't see his face as well because he kept looking down and he just didn't want a picture of his face. Okay, so doing the second ultrasound, pretty much the same thing. He kept looking down throughout the entire thing. The technician's there with her little probe, I guess, too, and then she kept like jabbing my tummy, and it was pretty funny. And then finally, when she was about to give up, he turns to the side, and he only gives her a side profile, and it's so funny. Like, that's all he's giving her. Hilarious. I don't know if it's seriously, the personality is easily mine and my husband, so I don't know at this point. It was so funny. But luckily, with that second ultrasound, they were able to get what they needed for the face. So I'm happy because, of course, ultrasounds aren't cheap. And I know I have my insurance, actually my husband's insurance for this, but still, if it's not needed, then... But yeah, I'm really happy that they were able to do that. And then my husband wasn't able to go to the first anatomy ultrasound, and he was able to go to the second one, and he liked it a lot. He was able to see him moving and stuff, so it was good for him. And of course, which mother doesn't want to go see her baby again when she's pregnant? Like, seriously, I wish every time we could see the baby, but it doesn't happen that way, sadly. And then afterwards, I went with my OBGYN appointment, and they had told me originally, like, hey, after you get your ultrasound done, you can go immediately to see your OB. No, they're like, oh, it's too close to lunchtime, so come back after lunch. Oh, had to go over there, had to come back. It was annoying, but I understand. You eat lunch, but at least don't tell me. You can't tell me when you look at the time and tell me that I can do that when I can't. I don't know. So still, whatever. And so I went to go see her, and she told me that everything looked fine and everything. But then I had told you guys before, I have orthostatic hypotension. Oh, my puppy's right here. You can see her nose. And so I get dizzy when I stand up a lot, and I space out. They still don't know why I get really spaced out. Like, I zone out really, really, really bad. Like, for like 5 minutes. I think the worst I had was like 30 minutes consecutively. And then, yeah, it's just not good. Like, I honestly don't know what's going on with my body. And this was before pregnancy. So I told her that my blood pressure is going as low as it was before, and that I'm getting really spacey like it was before. And again, I told her, no one's figured out what I've had before. The cardiologist, like, I need to go to a neurologist or a neurosurgeon to figure it out. But I told her, it's coming back. Is there anything I can do to elevate my blood pressure to help me out so I don't get dizzy? And then she prescribed antihistamines. And if you don't know what an antihistamine is, it's pretty much what you take for allergies. It's literally allergy medication. And right now, a lot of doctors are giving that medication to people who are having panic attacks, anxiety attacks. And so at first, she gave me the prescription. She said a random generic name, or I don't know. And at first I'm like, you know what, maybe this will help me increase my blood pressure. And then I went to the pharmacy later on that day when it was ready, and I even asked the pharmacist, like, hey, is this okay to take while I'm pregnant? I mean, I look pretty big right now. So, like, right now I'm at the end of my 26 weeks, and look at that. Yeah, like, get till I'm pregnant. So I asked her, like, is it pregnancy safe? And she's like, I need to talk to the head pharmacist. And the head pharmacist gave me a paper and pretty much telling me, it states, what bad things can happen if you take this antihistamine during pregnancy, which, of course, isn't a lot of good stuff. And then the whole thing is that when, and again, they give it to people who have panic attacks. And when you have a panic attack, your blood pressure usually increases. So this medication decreases your blood pressure. And again, I already have low blood pressure. So giving me something that will lower it even further is not fun. And I was like, you know what? I'm giving my doctor the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, you know what? I told my husband she may have written it wrong, or she wrote it and it was like the nurse didn't know, like it was jumbled, whatever. Because some doctors' handwriting is horrendous. So I was like, maybe it was a mistake. I called the doctor and I asked them if it was a mistake and if they could please call me back. The nurse told me that it didn't look like a mistake, but she would have the OB call me. And then the OB called me later on that day, and she told me that no, it wasn't a mistake, and that I was pretty much having panic attacks, which would decrease my blood pressure. I told her, no, panic attacks increase blood pressure. She's like, not always, blah, blah, blah. I told her that's not it, and no, I mean, again, when I have my episodes, I space out. And when you space out, you do not have high blood pressure. Not for me, at least. I zone out. My blood pressure is really, really low. My heart rate's really high when this happens. So it pissed me off. I mean, who wouldn't? And yeah. And then I went through this whole thing where I was like, I'm going to get a new doctor, blah, 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 blah. And then I remembered I already paid the deposit for the delivery. So right now I need to go through the process of finding a new doctor within the clinic, because the deposit was almost $2,000, and that is not money I want. No. Everything is so expensive right now that I'm not tossing away any sort of money, even before and everything increased. That's still a boatload of money. So no, I already put in. So most likely I'm going to try seeing if they can switch me off to another doctor within the clinic. So yeah, that was pretty much week 23 for me. I was just angry. Yeah. And then at week 24, I'm looking at my calendar because again, 4 weeks is a lot for me to remember. 24 weeks, that's when they started in the renovation in the bedroom, in the bathroom, guest bathroom, and the baby room, of course. So those 2 rooms. And yeah, it took 2 weeks and a half. So I was pretty much babysitting from week, 24 into like the middle of week 26. So yeah, like during that time, the baby, no longer in my pelvis. Thankfully, he was sitting in there and giving me lightning crotch. He was just really bad on my back. So no. So I'm happy he is more up. Right now, he likes to, let me stand up. He likes to stand. He likes not to stand, but he likes to be on this side. And a lot of the time, you can tell, I think right now he's in the middle. But he'll protrude more out on the right side. And it is so funny. And then he'll start doing his little kicks. Oh, God. Right now, it's still super cute. I can't, I know for some women, as they progress, it's going to be more painful. But right now, it's still really adorable. And yeah, and right now he's kicking. I just finished eating. So he will, and I eat Mexican food, so he will be tasting that in about 2 hours. So I'm really excited. And yeah, so again, week 24, week 25, pretty much had nothing but babysitting contractors. And again, they did an amazing job. And so nothing really different with me. Again, with my low blood pressure, all I need to do now, pretty much ignore the doctor, and I'm not taking that medication. And all I do is move my legs a bit before I stand up, and move my arms just to make sure there's blood flowing through my body, especially my legs, because when you have your legs bent while you're sitting, you cut off circulation, and when you stand up, that circulation tends to go to your feet, so dizziness. And then your brain freaks out because not getting enough blood, blah, blah, blah. You get dizzy. So I make sure to move my legs, especially my legs, right before I stand up, and it usually helps, but again, like any person, I forget. So, whatever. And then week 26, like I said, 25, again, babysitting contractors. And nothing's really changed from there. And 26, again, not much of a change. I did chop off my hair. It is a lot shorter than what it was a couple of weeks ago. Like, I just got sick of it, just too long. And originally I cut it at the beginning of my pregnancy because it was just getting in the way for me throwing up. And it was easier. And I think I've just gotten so used to having short hair now that it's just more manageable. I feel like it curls better, especially on this side. My right side has always been kind of iffy, so whatever. But it usually curls really nicely. I don't know if you can tell. On the left side, so I just, like I said, I prefer it. And after the baby comes, they're going to start pulling, so the shorter the better. So I'm just going to keep it at this length until they get old enough. Okay, so week 26, and the weekend of within the week 26. My husband and I go to the valley and we have my first baby shower. I'm having two. Why? Because my husband is an only child and his mother could not go to the one in the valley. So I'm having two. So again, I lived there for the first 26 years of my life. So, and all my friends, my family are there. So we took a 3-hour drive down to the valley and I loved it. We had a fiesta theme. It was so adorable. My friends took care of the food and the drinks and the dessert. That was like the three main things. And they also got me this huge pinata, which I loved. And I'm going to keep that pinata for hopefully the first birthday, unless it gets destroyed before then. But we'll see. And yeah, like I said, I loved it. I wore a dress. I think the brand was Vici, Vici, and it was pretty much a maxi dress. It just went across the shoulders and very flattering on my tummy and was not a maternity dress. I made sure not to get a maternity dress because I wanted to wear something. I wanted something, if it was going to cost me more than $50, that it was going to be something I could wear again without being pregnant. And if you could tell, I get out of breath really quickly, but it's just the belly and everything being pushed and, less lung space. So like I said, I wanted something nice that I can wear that was flattering during pregnancy and after pregnancy. So I got that dress and I'll insert a picture somewhere here of how it looked in it. I think it was just perfect. And yeah, I loved it. And I got everybody in my family some pins except for my in-laws. Like, my brother-in-laws, I guess I could say. I got some for my in-laws, like my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, but again, they're not coming until the second shower, so, yeah. But I have so much family that I only got my immediate, so of course, me, my husband, and then my mom, my dad, my two sisters, my brother. I have two cousins that grew up with me that are practically siblings, and then my nephew. And so that was already 8 on just my family, just immediate. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not buying any for my brother's boyfriend, my brother-in-law, and then my other brother-in-law. That's 3 more. And then for my husband's side, the only ones that I'm buying, because he's an only child, are his mom and dad. So I was like, I already have so many on my side that I'm just not going to do the in-laws on my side. So just, yeah. But still, everyone had a cute little button. Mine said mom, my husband said dad, and I didn't want it to say to be because I already have a nephew. So like my parents are already grandparents, and my siblings are already aunts and uncles. So I was like, you know what? No, they're not aunts and uncles or grandparents to be. They are already. So I decided to take off the to be, and it just said aunt, uncle. Actually, I think I said uncle, and then I actually put auntie on instead of aunt because I thought it was cuter, but whatever. But like I said, I had a lot of fun, and the food that my friends got was amazing. Like everyone was telling me how great the food was, and the lady who came and served us there, my sister's house, she was awesome, and she gave everyone cards. Like that's how great it was that everyone was asking for her card, so they can use her again in other events. And then my friends also got me, like I said, cupcakes. They were amazing too. She found her on Instagram, I think, in the valley, and this lady literally makes cupcakes out of her house, and she made a special churro flavored cupcake because that's what I wanted. And then she also made piña, pineapple, chocolate, and vanilla, and they were all great, but the churro cupcake was my favorite. Like, loved it. So yeah, and they were amazing too. And I usually hate icing, but this lady, like her buttercream, I think it was probably like American buttercream, but it was great. It didn't taste like butter. And that's my biggest issue with buttercream. I know, it's in the name, buttercream, but usually tastes so much like butter that it's just like it feels like I'm literally half a stick of butter and I'm putting it in my mouth. But she did it so well that it was great. Loved it. And I had a lot of fun. I had games. For the baby shower, and we didn't use them. Everyone was having so much fun talking to each other and everything that it just flew over everybody's head. Like I had one where it was like pin the tail on the piñata because again it was fiesta themed, and we didn't do that. I also had the little felt diapers where you rub the inside of one of them with chocolate so it's like poop, and then the person gets a prize. Didn't do that either. And then the last one was how big is mommy's belly, and you got a piece of yarn and you guesstimated where it was, and then you'd see if you were right or wrong. And we didn't do that either. Again, everyone had such a great time that they just went over ahead. And then I think the main thing was we took pictures, and there were so many people in the house, and that's because only like 70% of people came that I invited to that one. So yeah, and it was so hot that I was just like, throughout the entire thing of taking pictures, I was like, oh my god. But still really fun. And then afterwards, it was like a bunch of me just opening presents. I loved it, even though people bought me a lot of clothes, even though of course I didn't put any clothes on my registry. It happens all the time, but oh well. And then that was about it. And then the next day we went to the flea market, and I bought my son, or soon-to-be son, I guess regardless, son. When he's born, I bought him a little evil eye bracelet. Oh, actually it's gonna be an anklet, but I bought him 2 of them, and I'm really excited. They were blue like mine. I usually see them in red, so I was just like, oh, but I saw it in blue, so I was like, yes, I really want them. And they were really cheap. They were only $3 each. So I got 2 of them for $6. So I was really, really excited that I was able to find something more specific and unique for my son. So really, really, really happy. And I think that's about it. Yeah. And I will try keeping this at 2 weeks, hopefully. Like I said, just so much to do. This weekend we're going to San Antonio, which is another almost 3-hour drive. So, and this week I went to the chiropractor because of the drive to the valley, that it kind of screwed up my back. Just sitting down so long, it's very uncomfortable. So, and luckily the chiropractor was able to push that sciatic nerve. It was already starting to go down my leg. So she pushed it back all the way to my spine, and she'll probably have to do that again next week after we go to this wedding. Again, almost 3 hours. Yeah, not fun. So pregnancy is such a beautiful thing. Yeah, but still, yeah. But again, I'm gonna try keeping this up at 2 weeks instead of the 4. But yeah. I'll see you guys at 27 to 28 weeks. Have a good day.